Good morning, everybody. My name is Rob Triggs from CRM Dynamics. I'd like to welcome everybody to the webinar this morning. Thank you for joining us. We're going to wait and allow people to just straggle in. I can see there's quite a few people on the line this morning. We're expecting quite a few people. And we originally were going to have one of our CRM trainers do the session this morning, Angelina, and Angelina became ill this morning. So we've got, you're fortunate, you get Bill Gardner today. So welcome, Bill, to the call.
Well, thank you.
So we're going to get started in a minute, and today we're going to cover sort of what we're calling the back to basics. And so we're going to cover things like navigating through CRM 2015 and a couple of key things. So I think most of you who are on the phone today, there's about a 50-50% split. Half already have Dynamics and you're existing customers of ours, and you are looking to learn more about the platform. So I think you're going to be very happy with the session today. And we also have about half of you are looking at Dynamics as a potential solution for your company. And for those of you who are in that camp, I'm hoping what you'll see today are things that you can see your company would benefit from. We do these sessions every month, so we do them every third Thursday of the month. And each month we do a different topic. Today we decided to go back to basics and start with basic functionality of CRM. And for those of you who have more detailed questions, maybe you've joined today because you want to learn how to do something in CRM, if you could just please put those questions through the question tool that you'll find in your GoToWebinar little screen there. When you put those through, what I'll do is while Bill's presenting, I'll be able to answer some of those questions in real time, either privately back to you or open to the group. And for those questions that I think are worthwhile that we can, put out to the entire group, we'll stop at key points in time and ask Bill to answer those questions live. For those of you, if we do get inundated with questions, which does happen sometimes, what we'll do is we'll stop the webinar at the appropriate time that we've scheduled, and we'll make sure that we get back to each and every one of you via email or a direct telephone call to answer your questions. Okay, so I think we've got pretty much everyone we were looking for to attend today. There's still a few more that aren't here, but that happens sometimes. So what I'll do is I'll pass it over to Bill and ask Bill to take us through back to basics. Thanks, Bill.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Rob. So you should be seeing my screen. Just hold on a second here. There we go. So I'm here substituting for Angelina today. I've taken her agenda, which is here, and then I added a couple of things in the bottom that we've been doing quite a bit of lately, just to share for those of you that haven't seen editable grids in some of the service area. But for some of the basic areas, we'll cover system personalization and user settings, Outlook offline, which is part of that, search and advanced find, and the process bar in CRM, and a couple of the changes with 2015. Okay, so now I'll switch into CRM. Okay, so what I'll do here is start from Outlook, and I won't. This won't be a real demo. It will be more showing some functionality in the system. So in a demo, I'd usually start with just right-clicking and showing tracking emails and that type of thing. But here, because a lot of you already have it, what I'll do is show the personalization area. So in CRM, there's a couple of the things that you get in Outlook. One of them is a new Outlook item in here, and that will let you do things like force immediate synchronization. So if there's a task that just got created in CRM, it will go immediately into your Outlook if you click that. Otherwise, it happens anywhere between instantly and about 15 minutes. And then you can do some other things like create phone calls and emails and that type of thing right from Outlook from here. The other thing that you get is in the file area, there's a new CRM, both CRM recent, so that will show you all of the different records that you've been in recently. And you also get the CRM area where there's things like personal options that we'll look at in a second, some synchronization settings, controls over going offline, and so forth. In the options, okay, this looks exactly, and in fact it is, like the options that you get out of the web browser. So in here you can decide on how you'd like to see the forms for new activities. So whether you want to use the Outlook forms or the CRM forms from within Outlook. You can decide on how many records you'd like to see per page in a view. So the default is 50, but you can go right up to 250 on a page if you'd like. You can decide on whether you want advanced find to be shown in a simple or detailed mode. So detailed allows you to go right into a query and start changing it instead of clicking a little button to say detailed mode. Okay, and then there's some other settings like contrast settings and even region settings. Okay, there's also controls in here for synchronization, so you can decide on what data you'd like to bring out of CRM into Outlook. Different formats you can decide on. If you don't like the formats that come out of the box, like the long date format, you can change that. Okay, and this is all on a personal level. It's not global, so you're not changing everybody in the companies. You can configure email templates. You can decide on the email rules. So this is where you can decide on whether you want CRM to be able to send through Outlook or not. And even things like if you get an email from somebody and you track it, whether or not it will create the contacts automatically for you in the system. Some address book rules, local data rules, privacy, and then languages. Okay, and this is how CRM knows what language you have. So if the French language pack, for example, was loaded, it's not here. But if it was and I selected French, then the screens would revert to French. We've had companies have everything from Mandarin to German, Spanish, French, English. So a company can have different users from different regions in the world. All be using it in their own language, and it's controlled from here. Okay, so that's the personal option area. The other area in CRM in the same zone is the synchronization settings. So you can decide on what data you'd like to bring offline, okay, or you'd like to synchronize. This isn't used by everybody. Typically, it would be senior management or reps that go to remote regions. Let's say a rep goes into China or areas that really don't have great internet access. And you can decide on what data you want to take out of what entity. So something that's fairly common is, my contacts, my accounts, maybe my opportunities as a sales rep, my service issues as a service person. And the idea is that if you don't have internet access, you can still get your job done. When it gets internet connectivity again, it will synchronize for you. Okay, and that's all controlled through here. And you can decide on what the rules are one by one and then what the filters are. Okay? Here's the filters for offline. Okay, so it actually, every entity you have access to, you have the ability to go in and configure. So I've got 121 in here because I'm the admin. Okay, so typically if a user only has access to 10 things, then in the filters they'd only see the 10 things they have access to. Okay, so that's system personalization and user settings and Outlook offline. Now, for search and advanced find, let's take a look at that.